the administration is thinking, because how does Obama run in 2012?
Well, we don't have a Surgeon General.
Well,
So
that's correct.
What type of advice is he getting?
Well, I'll tell you why we don't have a Surgeon General, but how is he going to run in 2012 with people saying that the and I'm absolutely, this is not again me, this was in the New York Times last week, the insurance industry is going to get in its last legs between now and 2013. Our premiums will double again between now and 2013. So my 700 or 600 is going to be 12 or 1300 by then. How is Obama going to get reelected with?
It must be a political decision. He calculated that he would be reelected if he puts those in 2013. Not
Well,
in
it's been
2011.
done, from what I understand, to limit the cost, because the longer they can, delay it, the more they can.
No, that's wrong then, because there's so much money in healthcare. Anything you do that we've talked about that I'm sure this group says would save money. We spend way too much money per person.
Right,
I think you'll like
so
things quicker when
there's going to be there, but
yeah.
this is another problem, and people are starting to write about now. The expectations of the American people is the day that Obama signs this legislation. I'm pretty well educated on this, and I really thought
Sure.
that when Obama was elected, one of his first acts was going to be some sort of executive order capping insurance premiums.
Sure.
I thought this was going to happen, and I kept saying, when's it going to happen? Well, he can't do that. He doesn't have the power to do that. So I think people are going to be very not take this very well, and I think it's going to be a huge train wreck for the Democrats. To say nothing of the midterms in 2010.
Like a stimulus, it's not supposed to fully kick in for a few months anyway.
Right. Well.
And people put it, the minute they did it, people expected, to have
Well, the
chicken
minute
in
they
every
did it,
pot.
they masked it with
Yeah.
cash for clunkers.
Right.
So all of a sudden there was something that was the catchphrase, and that
Right.
people can, it was something tangible.
Right.
Whereas there was really nothing
Right.
tangible about
But
it.
I think it goes back to what Leanne was saying. I actually do think that there hasn't been enough of a human face put on, and I think that Leanne is right. People don't usually react until they see some sort of impact on themselves.
Well, and
but
including
also
your
not just
favorite
themselves, but I
Ronald
think
Reagan.
maybe people they love, people they have to care for, people on their street. But I do think so.
But that's how the
there's a
AIDS
way.
movement really, that's how the AIDS movement made successes and strides.
And if I don't think I've always said, I don't think if it weren't for Rock Hudson, I don't think it would have. Suddenly, do you remember that? It was like this, it's like almost like this near hysteria that came about right after Rock Hudson died. And people were afraid to get bit by mosquitoes.
Yeah.
So all because of this Hollywood star, everybody knew. Everybody,
And Elizabeth
everyone
Glaser, I
was
think,
shocked
was
that this
really-
happened. It was like, wow, this almost like it's funny that this could happen to me. See, it's almost like, if it could happen, the fear of like, of it happening to me, I think is what it is. It's not so much like, it's happened to me, so I fear it. It's like the fear that it could happen to me,
And then there's aspects of our culture that are trying to make it happen to you, like high fructose corn syrup, and the profits for junk that drives business, and that gets paid into the politicians during the election times and all that.
But isn't that why it took 40 years, really? Because of the tobacco, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy person, but the tobacco lobby was so strong within our government and our elected officials. Same thing now with
cigarettes
Yeah,
smoke like
from my perspective, it's not just that the tobacco lobby is strong, it's that we have a system of government that is, this is going to sound like a justification here, but that's inherently deliberative. And so we really do believe as a society that it's important to have these tenets that kind of go up from the ground all the way up in the government. It's important for it to be connected. It's important to kind of wind your way into government. Now, sure, big business, they do it better because they've got a lot of money, but we actually, at a deep level, believe that there's something inherently positive, as opposed to a European system where the party gets elected and then just sweeps everything off the table, puts their friends in government, and they run the country for a couple of years. We don't actually, supposedly, as a culture, we don't want that kind of a system. So,
I expect
yeah.
that kind of behavior from our leaders. I think a generation around the world was sacrificed to tobacco and its illnesses was too great. What we're sacrificing now in the United States is too great. And I'm very disappointed in the lack of executive leadership. And I've told Eve, in a very terrible way of saying it, that Barack is willing to risk his life to be president of the United States, but he won't risk his political career to call the insurance companies what they are.
Yeah,
He's not going to
very
spend his political capital, so we're